Okay, guys, we're gonna continue on because we gotta keep the ball rolling because I got only like short amount of time. So yeah. Chapter 9, Friday. Is it just me or did everything fall apart? I think so. Apparently, we had the worst group call today because Desmond was over here doing too much. Desmond completely drives us all nuts, feeling like we struggled with a active 5-year-old nonstop. Miss Mag didn't fixing our problems either. She left. No, as a matter of fact, let me rephrase that. Miss Mac didn't try fixing our problems either. Yeah, that's more like it. She left outside Mohican's Young Star Academy building, calling it an afternoon clock out. Now Chris had a serious panic attack towards Mr. Taylor, which felt rough for a period. While calling group became horribly unstable, Mr. Johnson had enough and wasn't playing around. Desmond thought he could keep messing around with our ex-group leader, but Mr. Johnson didn't need to care. He might have got us stuck in the rooms, yet we literally got trapped inside rooms not even too long ago. Things I'll regret most of all felt guilty enough. If I have privs and Coach Wilson plays a good movie to watch along his snacks and pop, why can't we all motivate for Mohican Cedars sooner than from last Tuesday's night? Lately, these Mustangs ripped away prize factor shown before, which makes myself want to switch groups. But why struggle along other groups who could do way worse things, really? I mean, all the Mustangs needed doing was mind our own business and focusing on ourselves. So my question being, why, whose fault shall point fingers within Miss Mac's expectations nevertheless? To this extent, we're absolutely not a better group than earlier last week. Reasoning applies a part 2 from a chapter 9 and still a part 9 right next towards part 2. So technically I'm supposed to call it chapter 9 part 1, but I didn't really care, so we're not going to call it that. Welcome into shit. What did I cuss? You know what? Let's just continue. Welcome in Act Two's halftime pause. Act Two's halftime pause. Chapter 9. Again, Saturday. I don't know what's been happening with us Mustangs, but it's kind of foul to have our 8 groups so far from calling on to forwards. Since Monday or Tuesday, we've turning accountability into something that's not even horrible or bad, and I'm kind of stressing out on how peers don't know whenever to stop tweaking or tripping mindlessly overall. And don't get me started on Chris because he's simply slipping his positive side of things. I'm definitely not trying from pushing Chris away. Besides, while he'll do feel miserable at moments through Lions movement, I can totally understand why he's feeling like we've missed time inside petty situations. But can he take a breather for once? I know. Back when me and Mom used to still live together, I couldn't feel happiness all aside. Now these days are over and thinking extra deep in myself. No better man, honestly, because in deep motions, it just felt kind of like, why can't I go back with my mom, you know? Things used to be great, therefore, Dad coming tomorrow for my early 17th birthday is kind of hassling a chance continuing otherwise. Dad hasn't answered the phone on my Sunday and Tuesday call nights, which sucks considering how he's worried about me from barely answering him. I tell you this much, I won't be surprised if Dad doesn't show up tomorrow afternoon, reasoning his mind games he likes playing around a lot. You kind of figured how I said at the beginning of this book that, well, pretty much hope will not suck butt, right? Unfortunately, Dad's possibility being a no-show is probably disappointing, except nowadays, I'm skipping myself to I'm sorry, guys, if I keep messing up. I'm just so tired of doing this crap. And I don't know if I can continue with a book 4. But I probably will. I'm just playing around. Because I gotta finish the saga anyways, so let's just skip that whole sentence or that whole paragraph because it doesn't make any sense at all, to be honest. So basically, I'm skipping myself, desperately hating how I could care less about birthdays being good. Last year, Gigi Pippins may have ruined a sweet 16 dream, now closing himself, killing off points totally banished, ignoring wasteful energy every single day, justifying about what today's mood felt. We got Dunkin' Donuts thanks to Mr. Johnson, or Miss Johnson. See, I get confused with names sometimes. Thankfully, tasting life's donut pile of sugar rushed its mighty core. I couldn't get my hands on a glazed flavor nor a chocolate flavored one. All because Diaco and Skyward took the last ones inside Mr. Johnson's box given towards Miss Thomas. So instead, I got a less enjoyable taste onto a blueberry donut's profile. Johann was lucky finding a sprinkled kind, still feeling whether it's best to say greedy Piers gets pretty things, not gonna lie. I'd always felt outcasted ever since entering Ohio's landmark. California was tons better, but never the same inside the state of Ohio. Hasn't people already moved past, or is I kidding? speaking words, we switched rooms again, and having Chris as a roommate along with DeAndre moving too, things took insanely difficult. Moving mattresses is crazy to me. Mr. Taylor's a rocky or cocky fella, as noticing or believing he's mainly cocky is truly a work of baloney, so getting past that for right now will make sense after writing chapter 9's part 2 continuation from part 1. Chapter 10, Sunday. Good news! My father's coming to visit me today. And the only issue I got with him visiting me is he's going to be late. I'm getting whatever pizza dad decides ordering me because I've kind of figured right about here states dad's McDonald's order wasn't fair enough to know about with what I wanted to eat in anyways. I've still got to deal with no prayers once again over fist bumping Chris on his side of the room. He didn't have no problems with his sake, considerably whether boundaries could have defined fist bumping someone whose destiny would have fulfilled trying from finishing off complete lacked empathy. 3 days on no prips sucks, but recently they made a rule about signing or singing in Mohican counts as 24 hours with 0 prips total. Made me realize something about why Mohican Youngster Academy defines corn. I just don't understand how signing can affect treatment, because it don't mean anything towards heading for the real world. Or leaning on walls counts time, like what? Mainly proves Miss Olga, who owns Mohican in every which way possible, doesn't find no prips fascinating to say the least. Whenever I have no prips and can't watch TV, peers play movies I'd actually watch, which still feels as they're making me jealous. And whenever I am off no prips, they play movies and shows I could care less for. I'm pretty sure when we were gonna pick Avengers Infinity War, thanks to me, the second I had no prips, they played it. I didn't figure out why peers gave myself a hard round to agree. They don't want to be real. They're faking to get me upset, confirming how learning whether taking accountability is a good reason I'm moving forwards. Cannot fully comprehend looking back inside book 1 story had written, though through lots of wasted space being told within Matt's taken fate has rounded horrible setups in between edges, chaotic nature and mortified. But inside book 2's focus, why did me and Nina's relationship turn complicated nevertheless? Plot twist. Nina's story was darker than my mom kidnapping me. For told is about to be explained otherwise. Camp Hope 2021 Backlash. July 18, 2021, Monday. Playing or packing my bags, just, playing around. I'm just playing. Why did I say it 3 times? Why do I always say 3 times? Anyways, packing my bags wasn't too hard inside on rent apartment around Clay Street, California. I totally was glad I could get away from Joyce, Savannah, Roth, Fetz, and Fu. And on this exact same day, my sister Haley had a birthday party to go to. We dropped Haley off, got at Redding's drop-off center. In moments I spotted Caleb Johnson with everyone else, looking as he was coming along for the ride. My brothers, me, and of course Mom, aka Michelle Bruce, came prepared because getting stuck in our group called Eagles felt weird enough just because Caleb was in with our groups telling to wisdom back then. As we headed on Camp Hope's buses, I sat lonely, not realizing who did come back until a staff named Josh did. Not gonna lie to you guys, but Josh had a similar face as Mr. Beast's no cap. We had stopped as we made it closer from Camp Hope. Staff let us eat snacks while introducing myself felt okay, I guess. Teenagers those times were mild and wild style. One of the kids named Zach was lurked inside my IP classroom at Shasta Middle School. He didn't react as goofy. He was sleepy as frick. We finally made ourselves welcomed after our sweaty bus ride heat. The first things I can remember Caleb saying once we hit our Old Town Road was, "It smells like the country life out here." Yep, we came alongside, I think, bulls or cows, if I'm not mistaken. The Eagles' cabin beds were dirtier than those girls' side cabins. I even remember me having to sleep in my mother's spare sleeping bag covered up to protect dirty situations. Yet Camp Hope's food was discovered to taste good. A total 5-star meal. 5-star me? Our first karaoke sing-along felt awkward, holding hands around the campfire song. I wouldn't really figure why this staff were forcing ourselves singing each late nightly together until sooner than later. July 19, 2021, Tuesday. Look, I'll admit, before karaoke, the Eagles were doing fun activities. At slipping slide rodeo, then to eating a donut off a strain, all fun led down by the lake. Speaking of rodeo, Caleb, me, Brandon, and Marshall ride one big blowout blow up, my bad, water equipment, where seeking first glance at Sam talking to me at first, seeing Nina's sparkling atmosphere, was love at bright sight. Day two rolled around. While waking up, we went heading for a water jump, intentionally jump scaring us, hoping, losing hope could have happened. I showed bravery quick, running towards true potentially, finding cooled, crispy ice moving inside veins, terrible grass. That was a lot to take in. Eventually, we went Donkey Kong, Patash, steadily spooked. I came challenging, my bad. What? It's wrong with my voice. The leap of faith, where challenging how painfully it was trusting being wedgied wasn't me going for any extra trustworthy insight, wondering Pain's gotta do any more bullshit. Oh, did I cuss? Yeah, I did. Anyways, let's move on. Pause. Before continuing further, it's almost 3:20 p.m. So where's Dad at? Just letting me be stuck back with no privileges? Besides, after feeling a total wedge, I came close when Caleb and Brandon entered for me to somehow in some way feel like I'm all down for this. Honestly, don't remember clearly what got myself upset. Caleb and Brandon showed up, but when what should have been fixed anyways, lost its potential as a matter of fact. After getting dropped back to Camp Hope's headquarters, I poured and sat down on the green vented machine, causing a thought process whether there can or can't be hope is given shine. What brought luck came Cassidy, a man who's our staff in the Eagles cabin, including Josh too. Cassidy talked while kindly with me and said, though, looking over, knowing there's still hope served left, leading me towards a Camp Hope buddy named Aiden. Aiden took me over to his group of friends, closing in with Nina's very first words. Are you okay? Well, what was I gonna say when I didn't know who she was back then? All I could really apply come times with were a closed mouth. Yet, during arts and crafts, Nina glued wood sheets together, so really, doing work bashed myself, still analyzing who Nina's true purpose means inside works of questionable pricks and perks. What I wanted was here. She was here. In my heart. Second karaoke night felt better than last night's, except still never realizing where this all men on Camp Hope's agenda is bound to happen soon. July 20th, 2021, Wednesday. On day three's agenda, things began emotionally slow. Waking up upon morning's blue and bright sky in California's habitat was pretty much good for the most part. The eagles enjoyed swimming around, depending where you'd be able to diving deep at. Coldest side of Camp Hope's Lake would have probably took place onto left's direction being. Day two had tons of more going on. Worth noting, life's, sorry about that loud noise, adventure taking epically stable fast lane, therefore jumping and doing 360 style flips became insanely radical. Sliding has total memories, including walking on hanging yet wobbly planks, future dangerous reactions, scared crapless. Camp Hope's best moments particularly would have made ziplining achievable enough if skiing faster made sure zipping way down could do jobs entertainment smackground perfect. Though things are literally about ready for sailing towards keeping agendas 100. Wearing purple shirts while being pushed away from Nina because Aiden wouldn't budge. Going ahead for a double down vacation took 2 hours long as feeling free off the yellow bus camped our way outside. Boys' side split up and girls' side split up even. One last unknown karaoke night was perhaps confusing until day four's arrival would change forever. July 21st, 2021, Thursday. Welcome on day four's awakening, guys. Waking up to feel love isn't always breakable, especially when you got game. Love should make yourself inner self feel joy. Enjoying when not revealing you have strong passionate feeling for somebody else you just met on can rarely occur anytime. So karaokeing with Kayla, Marshall, Brandon, Michael, and another dude began journey's trip passing miraculously. Going past rocks nudged those aside fiercely, banding or bonding edges great encountered for. Halfway across river, we stopped and placed our red boats, stuck flat out, sandy grounds full of white cluttered dirt. So Nina walked around in her white hoodie, writing things on her arm with black sharpies, I remembered. I hanged out with Nina a little bit till we hopped back place into divided groups. To the end, there showed a warp hole spinning around and around. Aiden goofed, I descended out of there, and so Nina came laying down on a broken branch, wondering if she'll get new vans eventually. That's what I remember, guys. It was beautiful. Nina couldn't fit her vans no more because she had diabetes, sadly. I've been heartbroken, sadly saying. Said that 2 times already, but it's okay because I always say that at the same point. Heading back center was emotional, or at least started. Tanner sat, watching our friends feel emotional vibes going on around us. I wasn't figuring why, but when trusting Michael about how I deeply had feelings towards Nina, let Caleb Johnson be involved, and rushing to avoid conflict made things extra risky. Brandon and Mira found out, like now avoiding a similar atmosphere as the Walking Dead zombie invasion gave everything manpower had offered, turning me emotionally unstable. I can run away, so I did, and I was crying. Nina, I knew surely would reject me, am I not mistaken? As sitting flat down on top of a rock would feel better way rather than suffer endless possibilities, one of the 17-year-olds came rescuing situations from trustful. You know what? I wasn't being honest. He wasn't being honest. But I guess we're not honest for ourselves, huh? He understood, yet Aiden unexpectedly gave me a hug, crying too. It's basically Caleb's fault for him snitching about me steadily serious. Caleb knocked me out that day from Clay Street when we never been good friends since, haven't tuned too peacefully. Caleb can go to hell for all I care. Yes, I cussed twice, but it's okay because we're continuing on the story, the emotional side of things. Walking back in Mohican history, walking back felt epic, more sadness spared undoubtedly. Nina was everything to me, the love of my life. She breathes true heart because in the end, she's touching your shoulder. Nina and me hugged and had felt worlds needed worlds. Nina is my every world. I love you, Nina, I said as I gave her a big old hug. I love you too, Nina responded. She and me were forever unbreakable. Our things would have fallen again as passed by the past and past being the past. Nina's bear hug is the warmest love I've ever wanted me to be. And the world knows that too. So I hope you guys are watching this video because if you ain't, you suck. 30 minutes seriously go by and looks like everyone cried too. The main people running Camp Hope revealed why we were singing karaoke songs at each night. Cause each night those songs are Hope's meaning for love and true friendship, just like in lyrics being our Hope's purpose. Camp Hope felt like we were family, yet friendship is forever. And Michael, including Aiden, along with Marshall, cared between having heart grow stronger second by second. That night really was history. I remember borrowing Nina's hat in case she'll remember that I have given her my hat. Sleeping away with Nina's pink and black hearted cow item. Cause yeah, she took my hat, guys. I mean, I don't even know what's happening, but you'll find out later in the story to see what actually goes on. July 22nd, 2021, Friday, Part 1. Chilliest morning I spent weeklessly. Nina woke up, feeling absolute cold shivers down her spine. I wouldn't blame her. This had a chilly value. We karaoke once more, swishing away with our Eagles group. As coming to a close, we packed our bags, but then I noticed something really odd. Nina and me were following each other till we got all on board. Nina had to still be friends with Aiden, am I not right? Being cross seats from Nina and Aiden wouldn't suck balls if I hadn't seeking a plotted merge point guard. Nina, I noticed, covered up a western hat only to find out Aiden stole Nina's spot from me. Aiden now is going out with Nina, which shouldn't have came too subtle. Anyways, Aiden manipulated the whole time since we became friends. He sent out a rolled tissue paper, following what I've never trusting some guy he'll say as, or what he'll stay as forever and always. Aiden was honestly the only reasoning for having a crush or strong feeling now left behind spiraling. Amira tried calming myself before blowing up into a traumatic panic attack. Nina's fallen in love to as a so-called lover titled Aiden. Aiden's won, but me, I have fallen. I needed a breather, and jumping out the bus, Michael ran over to me, and I explained how Aiden took Nina away from me. Michael didn't like me seem dramatically upset. So Michael, of course, made me look at him, and I had to fight off this emotional battle in between. We had gathered together around a quarter to night stars reaching pitch dark beauty, watching a slideshow that's been promised to having me in it. Only four ever came about. We're hearing smoothly and smooching and kissingly or whatever you hear in the background. I was hearing, to be honest. I heard the whole thing. Behind you know who was Aiden and Nina doing it all on. July 23rd, 2021, Saturday, Part 2. Day 6 is a final Camp Hope memory lane isn't easy, and telling yourself you'll never get a second chance to go back in time and fix Aiden's scheme. Although I lost, Camp Hope 2021 did things special for who we changed a bit differently. I know I'm still not working towards changing myself inside Mohican Youngster Academy until those precious days lasted back when I was 15 years old. Riding back to Reading feels as if journeying back home wasn't meant fresh meets worthy wisdom calling out for help. Nina and me said goodbye, so you're probably wondering what happened after she left. Well, we called 2 days later and eventually started calling almost every single weekend. Nina broke up with Aiden a month afterwards. Marshall broke up with Nina in a week, and things began heading into a darker path for me and Nina's relationship. I would have finished how Nina's story for me ended, but the future chapters will determine none other than soon. And look, I'm pretty sad right now because I wish I could go back in time and stop that whole mess, but I guess I couldn't, so it's kind of tragic. Dad visited me, and I kind of predicted he'll buy Pizza Hut's stuffed crust. Dad and me, as well for war, are headed to the cafeteria. We're feeling embarrassed in front of a bunch of families is super uncomfortable. Dad, I felt like, was overfeeding me too quick, even though Dad was running late. But now Dad began doing too much. He told me if I do not graduate this program, Dad said I may be stuck in boot camp just like my other uncle Dad's blood brothers with. The part I'm not too found he's explaining about boot camp isn't all talkity talk. No, Dad said boot camp keeps things closed by doors, which means where now Dad thinks ruling his son's treatment out is gonna make things any easier. Since book one, I've mentioned when my father's word is crappy. I can't say the cuss word because if I do, I'm probably gonna get my whole channel taken down. I don't even know. I'm being dramatic. But anyways, well, voila. There's still something Dad wouldn't even admit he did before. It is that Dad did more than just a WWE wrestling match. He's kept things closed by doors. Anyways, Mortal Me ending today's longest chapter ever written. Dad tries forgetting his mention of boot camp's possible outcome, cause him telling me to let's focus on my son's birthday today isn't very pleasing for me to the beginning of his horrible state of mind. If you enjoyed today's chapter, this tragically chapter, and this twist of words to say the least, make sure you hit the like button, comment down below, subscribe if you haven't, and follow me on Little Money Heist Little 15. I know today's chapter was crazy to say the least, but never forget your loved ones, because your loved ones will always be there, even if in the end it doesn't matter no more. But trust me on my gut, promise you, do not leave anything behind, because if you do, your life will depend on it, and everything you try will fall into the hands of an evil being named Aiden. Anyways, I'll catch you guys back up next time. And when I do, it'll be a great ending to book 3's continuation to book 4. Can't really say what book 4's title is, but I might as well do it very soon. I just can't say it right now because the title is so out of place, but out of pocket in a way. It's so good. So yeah. But anyways, I might have to go, or I will go right now. I'm just joking. And peace out and about.